go out to California.
Richard, wait, hey, stop!
That is the moment when
So what we got here, panic 911 calls as a man threatens family. So what they're saying is a Marine veteran, I guess there was some type of domestic physical dispute. Police were called because I guess he was armed with a knife, and I'm assuming he was trying to stab people, threaten people, menacing or whatever else. And this is when the police arrived.
Richmond police officer shot and killed Angel Montano, who they say was armed with...
Yeah, he stepped right out and said, let me see if I can go back.
But delayed going...
Oops, sorry, my bad.
...was armed with 2 knives, which...
Yeah, you are, buddy.
...call for help to 911, and more than 3 minutes after officers had arrived outside.
My brother became aggressive. He has mental issues. Put down the knife, please. Angel. Angel.
So the brother called, and the brother, as you can see, announced that his brother does have mental health issues.
Please
Sorry to hear
put down
that.
the knife.
That is the actual recording of Angel's brother on the phone with police dispatch. Montano's brother said his mother was in between him and Angel as his brother threatened his life.
Ooh.
His crying mother can be heard at times within the call. At one point during that call, officers arrived, but delayed going towards the house as they were outside waiting for a non-lethal weapon.
Garcia's en route. I want to wait for that 40.
But then, Angel's brother told dispatch that there was a second knife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's 2 knives. You want a kitchen knife on his left and a regular small utility knife on his right.
You can hear, it sounds like his mom, or maybe his sister, but it sounds like that's his mom in the background because they did say his mom was in the middle of the two. And, you know, and that's a tough situation to be in. Jesus Christ, I can only imagine what he's going through. And he's a vet. You never know what he's seen and what he possibly has went through. That's why, you know, mental health is a big thing. I'm big on having a great relationship with a therapist that that you're comfortable with, and just, you know, try to do any healing that from whatever trauma you may have occurred or whatever else. And that's pro police, pro military, or just regular civilian life. Mental health here where I'm from is a big thing, and I see it on a daily basis. But I mean, even in the situation right now, it's sad. But who knows? Like I said, I don't know the gist of it. We only know what we see or what they report. But this is high on the list. This happens a lot, as well as suicides, which is another thing that ties into mental health. So, you know, see how this plays out.
Please hurry. Send them in now, please.
A short time after, police say officers went to the door, and an armed Montano came out and went towards them, leading to the fatal shooting.
So he's right there at the door, right when they poked in, and then his knife is right there. Man, I feel bad, like, because you don't know what people are going through. And again, I don't, you know, I back the police, but I'm also, I work for the people, public servant, and I care about my community and I care about the people. So you never know what he was going through. You know, for someone to just be super irate mentally already, and to, you know, you have guys with badges and patches and weapons at your door, you know who they are, they announce themselves, and you still push forward to meet that deadly force. Of course, with deadly force, he has a knife in his hand. You don't know, man. It's just, I can only imagine what he's probably going through.
Because there's still 2 people inside that house who their lives are also in danger.
So mom and brother were still in the house,
At that
okay?
point, we have to, it's a balancing act, go from, are we de-escalating? And while we're de-escalating, are we going to let 2 people potentially die or get hurt?
And that's what I was discussing on the last topic. Making those executive split decisions is super hard. And you have to, that's why police officers and, you know, military personnel, that's why they go through so many repetitions of doing the same thing over and over to create that muscle memory. When you're in situations like that, like you said, are we going to de-escalate the situation, or are we going to take out the opposing force because there are 2 other victims in there who can potentially be harmed? And in that type of situation, when he opened the door and the guy turned on a light from his assault rifle, you can honestly see right there, like, he came full force with knife in hand, body language and the speed and everything else showed aggression. What are you going to do in that situation? Right.
One of the officers who fired is facing a state investigation over another deadly shooting on the job earlier this year.
So that guy probably was he was involved in two officer shootings where, and this happens in certain cities and states, every run is completely different, and I'm not justifying his actions. I don't know what he did prior. I didn't even look into, that officer's body cam situation. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know who the officer is. But what I'm saying is, I've seen it before where it's more or less an investigation just to make sure he's cleared, to make sure he did everything properly. And I'm pretty for sure he did. It comes with that. A lot of people don't understand that you get a 7-day vacation anytime you're involved in any type of shooting as a police officer. And during that time, investigation is completed from the higher ups, of course. And, I don't know per se, but therapy can be in there as well too, So, but I think what they were discussing is just the officer been in two involved shootings. He was in one prior. He's in one now. So of course that's going to make him look bad. But if he was doing his job, and 9 times out of 10, he's just going to be justified for his actions. He should be okay. As long as he was doing his job, following the protocols and the procedures and stuff like that, he's good to go.
It was approved to be back on patrol by the chief.
There it is. He was already approved to be back on patrol. But now since he's involved in this shooting, which he probably just, fired shots on his weapon. He probably wasn't the guy who actually put unalive the suspect. But the fact that he was involved in it, it's like, okay, you already had one. Now you have another. They still have to do that investigation because, again, we work for the public. So seeing that on the civilian side, you're like, what the hell? This guy seems like a maniac. But again, I encourage people to do ride-alongs to actually see what goes on within your city or county. You don't understand. Anytime the police are called or anyone calls the police, they're not having a good day. Not at all.
As for Montano's case, the department saying mental health response teams are not equipped to deal with those who are armed.
And that is true. We have a lot of mental health personnel that come out that specialize in those things, but they are usually accompanied by officers because they're not trained, equipped, or they don't carry anything to protect themselves when they're dealing with mental health patients who are violent or armed.
I don't have the answers of what can be done differently, but I do hope that there will be some conversation around legislation and laws to get the people that actually need some mental health assistance, the help that they need, so that we do not end up in these types of situations.
Yeah.